Welcome to VSP News Online for Monday, July the 27th. I'm Charles Webb. With the latest police statistics showing that most of the people arrested are under the age of 18, government is assured that its decision to revive GREAT, which stands for the Gang Resistance and Training Education Scheme in the public schools, was a timely one. Senator Jeff Barron, Junior Minister of National Security, explained to the Senate today how the school-based police-assisted program works.
That program was removed. It was removed for over a decade, and we've just brought it back. In 2014, we've expanded it into this year as well, and we're looking to further expand it as well. Again, I made mention of a few testimonials today in Senate from the very stakeholders that are frankly the most important ones, and those are the children and then the students. And when they can turn around and say, yeah, I have better options in life. The gang lifestyle is not cool. It is not going to afford me a nice life. It's frankly too fraught with risk, and there's no real reward for joining a gang at this stage in my life. That's important. When a 10-year-old can say that, a 12-year-old can say that, a 14-year-old can say that consistently across the island. 632 students in Bermuda have gone through the GREAT graduation program. Across the island, kids are resisting the gang lifestyle. That's critical to know. We looked at the National Drug Control Survey from 2011, and they surveyed over 3,100 students, and over 20% of those students, ages between, I think it's 12 and 18, had said that they admitted to violently attacking someone with intent to do harm. And a further 8% of those students, from the 3,100 students, admitted or said that they were an active part of a gang. So, when you're looking at, 8% of 3,100 of kids between 12 and 18, we really recognize that something needed to be done, and we already knew that the GREAT program had some success. And so we said, this is frankly a no-brainer for us. We need to bring this back, and really it does a couple of things. The gang stuff aside for a second, it teaches kids conflict resolution. And I think at that age, any teenager or kids going into a tween, going into the teenagers, struggles with that sometimes. And also the relationship that they bond and they forge with law enforcement officers who are in uniform, who come to their schools and teach them every week, 13 weeks in the middle schools, I think is really important for Bermuda.
The government has fulfilled its throne speech commitment by forming a new co-parenting mediation council. The all-female group's duties take effect on August the 1st. Community and Cultural Sports Minister Patricia Gordon-Pamplin explains the council's role during a noonday press briefing.
The Co-Parenting Mediation Council will be responsible for assisting the minister with the development of co-parenting mediation regulations under the Children Act 1998 and for developing a co-parenting mediation code of practice that all registered co-parenting mediators must adhere to. Members of the Co-Parenting Mediation Council, who are being appointed for a period of 3 years in the first instance, are Kathy Lightbourne-Simmons, who will sit as the council chair, Dr. Eloise Pitts-Crick, Honor Desmond Tetlow, Susan Moore-Williams, and Miriam Shia King. It might appear at the outset that the prerequisite to be a member of this council is to be female and to have a double-barreled last name. But in fact, these members have a combined background in law, psychology, social work, and mediation. They also have a wealth of experience dealing with children, families, and disputed matters arising out of conflicts within families. The legislative framework embodied in the Children Amendment Act 2014 enables parties to reach their own solutions to child custody or access issues with the assistance of a co-parenting mediator, who must be registered with the Co-Parenting Mediation Council. It is of great importance that persons providing mediation services of this nature are regulated, and the purpose of the council is to provide regulatory oversight for co-parenting mediation.
Government's controversial decision to increase a number of fees for travelers using the L.F. Wade International Airport was approved in the Senate today by 8 votes to 2, after some grumbling about the risk of shooting itself in the foot. Independent Senator James Jardine and Opposition Senator Mark Daniels took opposing views.
I think the percentage increases, and there are two aspects here. One is the force schedule fees, which move, I believe, from $3 to $8 and $3.25 to $7. So the percentage increases for that aspect are significant when you just look at the percentage, but the actual amount of $3 and $4 per ticket, I don't really think is necessarily going to turn people off from traveling to Bermuda. Even if you add in the additional $16, which is a new fee that they want to charge for renovations or building for the airport, whatever they want to do with that fee, it's called capital improvements, as I understand it. Again, I think that if you've traveled through Bermuda Airport recently and looked very carefully at some of the aspects of it, it does need work. There's no question about that. And I think that that particular fee is probably very necessary in order to just keep the structure we have operating properly, let alone talking about any thoughts of a new airport.
While I understand the argument that certain insurance executives, hedge fund managers and the like, captive insurance that are coming down to Bermuda for conferences and whatnot, those costs being underwritten by the companies is a drop in the bucket and might seem to make sense. My concern is that this is really focused on the airport redevelopment, and so the government has set off on a plan to say, we're going to go and redevelop the airport. We have to find ways that with our partners that we're looking at right now, potential partners, how do we sweeten the deal? And I mean, that's what the whole legislative increase is about. But the question is that I wanted to know, are the hotels supportive of this? Is the Bermuda Hotel Association supportive of it? Because ultimately, I'm just one person, and I could say I think this or I think that, but we need the data. Where's the support from those who are looking to do the developments themselves? Are they saying, for example, that this is something that's necessary? This is something that we have no concerns with? We're not concerned about what our impact will be on our arrivals and in terms of our occupancy numbers. And then if the hotels are saying that they have no concerns with that, then fantastic. I stand to be corrected. But if there's no stakeholders that are giving credence to the actual initiative, then it makes it questionable as to whether we're putting the cart before the horse.
The Institute of Bermuda Architects and co-sponsors Construction Association of Bermuda have announced the winners in the first design and build competition aimed at students in both high school and university with the aim of designing and building a bench. Brian Darby has the names.
The first place winner was Bench on Wheels, built by Azra Smith and Kevin Simmons, who teamed up with Botello Wood Architects to design their bench and J&W Construction and King's Plumbing and Mechanical to build it. They were awarded $800. Second place was awarded to Hurricane Bench with Gabriel Botello, Ao Aluya Salua, Luke Pimentel, Jacob Pimentel, and Noah Botello, who partnered with Botello Wood Architects for design and Signworks for construction. They were awarded $400. Third prize, $150, was awarded to Two Rock Bench by Madeline Brash. She partnered with Jeff Parker Architects for design and Bermuda Stripping and Refinishing and ALM Construction for the building of the bench. Boundless won the People's Choice Certificate for their bench, while Bent 3 was awarded the Judge's Choice Certificate. The designs will be displayed in Washington Mall in the old China Grill space, and the benches will also be on display throughout Hamilton from July the 29th until August the 31st. Awards will be presented at Harbour Nights on July the 29th at 7 p.m. Brian Darby reporting for VSB News.
And we'll be back with more news right after this.
In an effort to make Bermuda's roads safer, and in partnership with Bermuda Police Service and the Bermuda Road Safety Council, DeFon's Broadcasting is launching a safe driving campaign. Complete with thumb bands, come into DeFon's Broadcasting and 94 Reed Street and make the commitment to drive safer and slower for yourself. Your voice could be featured on the radio. Get yourself a thumb band as a reminder of your commitment to drive safer and with fewer distractions. While you're at it, why not get one for someone in your life who also needs a reminder that our roads do not discriminate. They can take anyone's life. Let's drive safe, Bermuda, and arrive alive. Peace and love. Safe journeys.
The U.S. Consulate in Bermuda has recognized 5 shipping companies registered in Bermuda for participating in the United States Coast Guard's voluntary search and rescue network called AMBER. Search and rescue authorities around the world use the voluntary ship reporting system to assist ships and aircraft in distress at sea. A record number of 8,094 ships are now registered with EMVR, and its ships rescued some 1,330 sailors last year alone. The local companies were Bios, Bernhard Schult Ship Management, Frontline, Neptune Group, and TK Shipping. In addition to giving Bermuda's beaches a clean bill of health, the Caribbean Public Health Agency has invited the island to join with other islands in a collaboration in connection with the health and tourism issues, including reducing the risk a public health event might coincide with the 2017 America's Cup. It is calling for the creation of an early warning system to report travel-related illnesses involving hotels and cruise ships. And now return to Earl Baisden with the latest from the sports desk.
The Pan Am Games have come to an end, with Jillian Teixeira and Patrick Nisbet concluding competing in the horse jumping event finals right here in Toronto. The top 20 riders after the first round advanced to a second round. Both riders advanced to the finals, with Nisbet the third rider into the ring. Once again, Quick Z made an entrance backward, but once he was in, he rode well beyond his young years. They knocked down 2 rails to record 8 penalty fault points, finishing 12th. Teixeira was the 6th rider entering the ring. Teixeira and Tamarino did not have the rhythm they showed 2 days earlier, as they had 5 rails down for 20 penalty fault points, and they finished tied 30th out of 50 riders. In the final round, Nisbet and Quick Z had 1 rail down and 1 time fault for 13 penalty fault points, and they finished tied 16th overall. Sadiq Williams and Dominic Mayo both did not finish the Pan American Games male and female road races. Lamont Marshall was Bermuda's final competitor in track and field, with several Olympian and world champions in the field. Of the 1,500 meters, the pace was fast from the start. Marshall fought hard to stay with the group, but did not have the legs, as he finished with a time of 4:00.38, finishing 15th overall. Well, Saturday night, the much-anticipated wait was over when the champions, Somerset Cricket Club, and challengers, St. George's Cricket Club, announced their team for the upcoming annual Cup Match Classic, which will take place Thursday and Friday at the Wellington Oval. The champions have recalled Stephen Otterbridge to replace Deontay Darrell, while the challengers recalled Damali Bow, Treadwell Gibbons, Onias Bascom, Christian Burgess, and Stephen Kelly, with Mackay Simmons selected as a colt. The Somerset Cricket Club team is as follows: Jacon Ednis as captain, Malachi Jones vice-captain, Gennaro Tucker, Chris Douglas, Jordan De Silva, Greg Mabry, Trey Manders, Derek Brinkman, Stephen Otterbridge recalled Taryn Frey, and Jacoby Robinson. The reserves are Justin Corday, Justin Donowa, and Pierre Smith. St. George's Cricket Club Cup Match team is O.J. Pitcher as captain, George O'Brien vice-captain, for Craig Crockwell, Jason Anderson, Onias Bascom recalled, Christian Burgess recalled, Treadwell Gibbons recalled, Damali Bell recalled, Stephen Kelly recalled, Mackay Simmons as a colt, and Kyle Hutzel. The reserves are Jerron Dickinson, Akira Bascom, and Nazari Painter. Meanwhile, yesterday at the Wellington Oval, it was Colts Cup match, with Somerset Cricket Club retaining the trophy with a drawn match. At the Wellington Oval, St. George's Cricket Club batted first and were bowled out for 158. Keyshawn Smith was the top scorer on 41, while Akira Bascom added 25. Justin Corday returned bowling figures of 11 overs, 5 for 60, while Justin Donowa bowled 8.1 overs. He took 4 for 31. In reply, Somerset Cricket Club found themselves at 56 for 6 as the game entered its final 20 overs. A 55-run 7th-wicket partnership held things together for the cup holders, as they were able to score 122 for 8 when the stumps were drawn. Antonio Darrell was the top scorer with 32, while Kamal Easton added 22. Jordan Smith was the pick of the St. George's Cricket Club bowlers with 14 overs, 3 for 41.
Bermuda's women's under-20 national team got off to a flying start in the Caribbean Football Union under-20 World Cup qualifiers in the Dominican Republic last evening. Taking on St. Kitts and Nevis in their opening Group 3 match, Bermuda won 7-0. Bermuda got the dream start they wanted with a goal in the 3rd minute and never looked back. Bermuda got 4 goals from Aaliyah Nolan, 2 from Ava Frazzoni, and a single strike from Dashay Darrow.
The Bermuda Pacers Track Club concluded competing at the Russell E. Blunt Invitational Track Beat in North Carolina. After 3 days of competition, the group won a total of 29 medals. The Pacers won 8 gold medals, 10 silver medals, and 11 bronze medals. They also broke a Russell E. Blunt East Coast record that was previously held by a Bermudian. Sakari Framers broke LaToya Darrow's 2005 girls 15-16 high jump East Coast record of 1.73 meters when she leaped 1.77 meters. With the America's Cup World Series event in Portsmouth being cancelled yesterday due to bad weather, Britain's Sir Ben Ainsley and his Land Rover BAR racing team have secured the overall victory across the weekend after recording a win and a second-place finish on day one. Tyler Smith, Erica Hawley, and Alex Pilgrim produced excellent performances at the Canadian National Triathlon Championships in Quebec. Smith finished 11th out of 76 in the Junior Elite 16-19 men's race with a time of 59:43. Racing over the same distance in the women's 16-19 elite junior race, Hawley also had an impressive finish of 14th out of 58 competitors with a time of 109:12. Alex Pilgrim raced earlier in the 13-15 Youth Canadian Championships and finished a creditable 12th place out of 57 competitors with a time of 43.57. I'm Earl Baston reporting from Toronto, Canada at the Pan American Games for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for Tuesday, July the 28th, it will be mostly cloudy with a few showers and a chance of thunder. Winds will be west, southwesterly and moderate, increasing moderate to strong at times, with stronger gusts around showers. We're expecting a high near 85 and a low near 75. This weather report is courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. And to conclude our online news report, here's a cup match message from the Premier, Michael Dunkley.
Hello, Bermuda. Your parliamentarians have just finished a busy session in the legislature. The work we do, and I include all MPs and senators in saying this, is to protect Bermuda from a tough and turbulent world while creating opportunities to help families grow and prosper. The session saw Bermuda push back hard against a European listing that mistakenly targeted our tax status. Finance Minister Bob Richards worked quickly to correct the situation, and we are confident the matter will soon be resolved to the island's credit. We continued moving Bermuda forward in big ways for a future that is fair and secure. Freedom of information finally became a reality with the implementation of PADI regulations, bringing the highest standards of transparency and accountability to island life. We move forward with reforms to ensure our energy future is sustainable and affordable, and that our legal system works with speed, efficiency, and fairness. The session also saw the tabling of legislation that sets the stage for construction of a hotel in St. George's, a development that will create jobs and career opportunities for years to come, while providing a big boost to the East End economy. We will return for a special meeting of the legislature on August 17th to move this development forward as quickly as possible for the jobs and opportunities people need. The challenge of turning around the economy so that it creates jobs for all is a tough one, but it is what your government was elected to do. Urgency drives our work because many families continue to struggle. We're making progress, but much remains to be done to extend the recovery into each and every household. It is unfortunate that your representatives at times descend into acrimonious debate, something that once was the exception, not the rule. Nevertheless, I believe that each MP and senator, at the end of the day, is committed to building a safe, prosperous, and fair Bermuda. It is my hope that each of us sees a more positive approach to our life together and to challenge ourselves to make it happen. There is no better place and no better time to start doing this than during the Cup Match holiday. No other event connects us more closely. No other event reflects more clearly who we are and what we stand for. Its uniqueness reminds us that we live in a very special place as one very distinct people under the sun. The cricket brings us together to celebrate an intense but friendly rivalry that displays the best in our young men: athletic skill, sportsmanship, and camaraderie. Summer's Day reminds us how important it is to work together and support each other in times of need. And Emancipation Day represents a standard of equality, fairness, and unity that is our national mission. The significance of these Cup Match traditions is that they say as much about the possibilities for our future as they do about the facts of our past, and much more. They reflect the best in what we are and what we can be, and they give meaning to our community, meaning to our identity, and direction for the way ahead. My friends, as you enjoy the holiday, please take a moment to reflect on the meanings of the Cup Match holiday. I see it as an inspiration for a Bermuda we can all work for. In closing, before the crowds gather and the first ball is bowled here at the St. George's Cricket Club, I want to extend thanks and appreciation on behalf of cricket fans everywhere to Club President Neil Painter and his members. They've done a great job of preparing the grounds and the club for what promises to be 2 days of first-class cricket. So the stage is set. Like thousands of Cup Match fans across the island, I'm looking forward to seeing a hard-fought contest that produces a clear winner. And to everyone, no matter where or how you choose to spend the holiday time, please be safe and enjoy. Thank you, and happy Cup Match, Bermuda.
Thank you for watching VSB News Online for Monday, July the 27th. I'm Charles Webb.